It's 6:30 right now, set up in a tree. All of those deer that I kicked up the other day were bedded right here. We just had a big storm come through. The winds are blowing pretty hard out of the northwest. I'm on the windward side of this hill. There's so much sign and there's so much food on this side of the hill. All it takes is one hot doe, and we're gonna be in the game. I saw 3 doe on the walk in, and there was a deer down here about 60 yards feeding on acorns. And I just climbed this tree and it never did anything. So hopefully it beds down over there. My wind's going perfect like this. There's a grass field out here. I'm guessing the deer might be in, or they could just be right here with me right now eating these acorns. But we're just in the tail end of this storm and the wind is ripping, so I have to keep my eyes peeled because they could sneak up on me in a second. But we got about a little over a half hour till shooting light, so I'm just gonna hang out, enjoy the morning. It's not very cold out right now. It's pretty warm, so fingers crossed. Hopefully there's a hot doe in here still. There it is again. Wrong button. So it's 10 o'clock right now. I'm gonna get down, walk into the wind on this hillside, find a scrape, put a camera on it, and then I'm gonna cut straight across and get on that hillside and probably put another camera, but that's where all the deer were heading because that's the leeward side of the hill. So on the ridge of that hill, it's super thick, grapevine, so it's all clear cut. And then up here is mature woods. And I know right before dark, those deer are gonna come out and eat on these acorns in this mature woods. So I'm gonna go over there, find a scrape on that transition, maybe find a rub line leading out, set up on that. Alright, it's a little before 12 o'clock right now, and a lot has happened since I talked to you last. So I climbed down on a camera on a scrape, and I was walking the windward side, saw a doe on the hillside. I was gonna spot and stalk her, and then she just vanished. It was so weird. And so I wanted to come and sit on the edge of this cut, so I'm walking this edge. I jumped 2 does that were bedded on the edge. They weren't really that spooked. That was up like 70 yards. I was going to set up there, that was my plan, but there was no fresh shrubs, there was no scrapes or anything, and the woods was pretty open. So I came farther down, and this hill just really tapers off like this where I'm at, so it just goes up and down. So that's where I am, and there's a lot more cover here. There's a lot of beech trees with their leaves still. There's a pine tree here with scrapes under it, and I actually jumped a decent buck. I don't know if I would have shot him, but he was about borderline. It's only 12 right now. We have 7 hours till dark. But this buck wasn't spooked terribly. But this buck I jumped wasn't spooked terribly, and he ran on the windward side, so he definitely didn't get my wind. I don't know if he saw me or heard me coming, but he didn't take off really bad, and he didn't blow. So he could very well be back. Fingers crossed. Hopefully something will walk out of here. I just shot that bear. I don't know how good of a hit it is, but I got an arrow in that bear. It's probably a 25-yard shot. I walked up to him, took my boots off. Holy crap. I'm gonna go look for blood. Hit that bear last night. We're on the track now. We'll see. There's no blood that we've noticed, so. But I got good penetration on it. So we'll see. Okay, so I wanted to touch on this bear hunt because I didn't get much film after the shot, and this was yesterday. So what happened was I was set up for deer. I was completely hunting deer and had no idea that there was a bear in there. And sure enough, you saw in the video all the turkey and deer running into me, and I've seen this before. Animals seem to run different when a bear pushes them rather than a human. They aren't as in a panic. You know, the deer keep their tail down and just kind of trot off, and those turkeys were doing the same thing. They weren't flying like they do when a human spooks them. So I knew a bear was coming, and sure enough, that bear came up, was eating acorns at about 70 yards. I got a little video of him there. And he started veering off to my right, and I knew he wasn't going to come in range. So I acted fast, got out of the tree, left the camera on, recording. I still haven't watched that video back to see if I was in the picture, but I set it up on a tree that I was planning on getting to. That bear ended up laying down on the other side of this big oak tree. I stalked up to him to about 25 yards. I was gonna get closer to the bear, but it gets up and starts going to my right. The bear's at 25 yards the whole time. I didn't have a clear shot, and then I got him to stop. I can't remember if I whistled or did a little lip squeak at him, but he was about 25 yards when I shot, perfectly broadside, and he must have heard the bow go off or something, and my arrow was flying perfect right where I was aiming, and like I said, he kind of jumped the string and turned, quartering away from me. My arrow entered in the back right leg, but it was in pretty good. I'm not sure how quartered away he was because it just happened so fast. My adrenaline was crazy. My knees were knocking. It was just one of the craziest hunts I've ever been on. So from what I saw, the arrow looked like it could have been angled into the gut or even the diaphragm for how much penetration I got. He was probably about a 130-pound bear. So after the shot, the bear kind of goes to my left and down the ridge a little bit, and I wanted to go and look over the ridge so I get a line on him. So I went up to where the bear was standing when I shot, shoved an arrow in the ground, and worked the ridge out and got a good line on that bear. Then it got dark and I started looking for blood. Didn't find any blood. My dad came up. We couldn't find any blood for the first 70 yards. That's all we went. So when I got home, I contacted a bunch of blood trackers that use dogs, and only one was available to do it. So she met me out there, very nice lady, very thankful she got to come out. Her dog did great. We put it on the track. It went right exactly where I watched the bear go. And we got down on the bottom into this thicket. And the handler said that when the dog starts barking, that means the animal is still alive and moving at a faster pace. So when the dog started barking, that was probably 200 or 300 yards from the shot. All last night when I got home, I was doing research, asking people, you know, what's a gut shot on a bear, and looking it up online. And typically they're sort of like a deer. If you don't push them, they'll just bed down. I did not push that bear. I backed out that night, and we're figuring that bear probably bedded in that thicket because we put the dog on the track twice and it took us into the same thicket, barked both times. So it is possible that the arrow was not angled into the gut diaphragm area like I thought. It might have been more angled towards the ribs, and the back leg of a bear is just so muscular. There is a lot of main arteries and veins, but they're pretty much hidden by the bone, and I know I didn't hit the bone. So I probably got a lot of muscle and some fat. There was no blood at all, and we chalked it up as a non-fatal hit on that bear. I don't think I did anything wrong. I backed out. My shot placement would have been good if the bear didn't turn. My equipment did not fail me. I feel as if I had enough penetration. It's just the way it happened, and I wanted to share this with you guys. This is one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in the outdoors. I feel absolutely terrible that it worked out like that, but we are confident that bear is still alive. So that's what happened with the bear. That was, like I said, one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in the outdoors in my life. And I wanted to give you guys some closure on it, because just in the heat of the moment and not finding sign, I wasn't very inclined to get video. So that's the story of the bear, and I thank you guys for watching, and thank you for all the support on the videos lately. And yeah, we're gonna be back at it tomorrow. I just got to my camping spot, gonna sleep in the truck bed tonight. Just going for deer, but you never know. I got 2 more weeks of bear season. Maybe I can redeem myself. We'll see. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the love.